For the first time, Google is facing real competition. And I mean, in terms of the business of search engine. Since the late 90s, Google has basically been the sole provider of that service. Of course, there are other companies. Even initially, there were other companies, but somehow Google got to beat all of them and become the top source of search engine service. And yeah, today we can say maybe around 90% of searches that people make are done on Google. And Google has been very comfortable in that position. But there are things that are happening right now, and I think Google is at the risk of being maybe removed from being at the top. But if not, Google is about to get competitors who are going to take a huge chunk of the market from them. And that looks very likely now. And that is happening thanks to AI, of course. More and more people are going to ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity, and these other tools to get information. And in fact, even businesses now are trying to optimize their content for this other platform. It's now a thing that bloggers and businesses and brands are now actively trying to optimize their content for AI, and specifically for these platforms that people are using now, like Perplexity and Cloud and ChatGPT. And going forward, more and more people are going to rely on those platforms to get information or to access information. And that puts Google at a very precarious position. And I think for the first time, it is facing a real threat to their hold on the market. Even though Google themselves are not sleeping, of course, they are doing everything to be at the top of things. And of course, they have Gemini, which is an AI tool that has been around for a while now, and it is becoming increasingly useful to people. And they also have, or they've launched the Google AI mode, which means you can decide to just use their AI machine to get information. And that, of course, makes them be competitive, but it doesn't remove the real competition that is coming from other players. Of course, ChatGPT is doing very well, Perplexity and Cloud and so many others. At this point, the list is quite long. Maybe the list will continue being longer or growing longer, but at some point there will be a few players who will stand out and be at the top. Maybe Google will be one of them, maybe not in 10 years. For example, maybe Google will not be even in the top 5. Maybe it will be still leading, but what I'm sure, or I can bet on, is that they will have other players who will take a huge chunk or huge chunks of the market. I think that's going to happen. Because Google, I can say why they are doing a very good job of trying to build AI capacity. I can say they've let others take the lead. OpenAI is taking the lead. Outside the US, DeepSeek is taking the lead. And others, Cloud is doing a very good job. So Google is competing at this point, aggressively competing, and it's not an easy job. They have to do a lot if they are going to continue being leaders in that space of search engine. And so Google is facing, for the first time, for a very long time, they are facing real competition when it comes to the business of search engine. And that is going to be a good thing for people, of course, for the end users. Now, the platforms that are going to give Google competition might not be even what we can see right now. It might not be even ChatGPT or Cloud or Perplexity. It might be something else. And I think the companies that are going to have an advantage when it comes to being at the top of providing a search engine, we can say, service through AI, I think companies in the telecommunication industry, especially mobile service, have an advantage, or they can easily do it. And when I say companies in the telecommunication industry, I mean the companies, the network providers. We can say, for example, in Kenya, Safaricom. Safaricom could take the SIM card and turn it into a powerful AI tool, so that its users can just do everything within that SIM card. They can get all the service they need. That includes accessing information and searching for information. basically what they used to get from Google, and even more, of course. And I also mean companies that manufacture phones, smartphones, and I mean Apple, for example. Apple, of course, they are also building their own AI capacities within the phone, the iPhone, and they can do it so well that when you buy an iPhone, you no longer need to go to Google. You no longer need to go to any other third party to get information. You can just get it from their own AI tool. And that AI tool, of course, becomes like an assistant. Already there is an assistant in the phone, and that's what can be made even better using AI. And if Apple, for example, build their AI assistants to be so effective, more and more people will stop needing to go to Google. They wouldn't need to even have that app on their phone, the Google app. They would just go to the iPhone assistant and get everything they need. Already people are getting some part of that, but that could become very, very effective and could take away a huge chunk of what Google has been offering. And of course, Samsung and other manufacturers can do the same. But when it comes to Android phones, there is a middle person who can cut them off and build AI capacity. And I mean, of course, the operating system, Android, is, we can say, part of Google, and Google can decide maybe not focus so much on the browser and just go straight to the actual operating system of the phone, the Android, and build it and give it AI capacity such that when you get an Android phone and of course you install the Android operating system, it comes with a AI assistant, and that could be Gemini, and you get everything that you used to get from Google. Of course, it does other things that are more personalized, but you can also search for information. And in fact, you can do that on the Gemini app right now. And the only thing is Google might decide to abandon the browser thing completely and just focus on that app, on that tool, and it comes as part of the Android operating system. And that means you no longer need to go to Google, even though it will still be Google. And of course, there are many other tools that will come out, especially those that, of course, use the browser and then you install an app on the phone. Those ones will still have a way they can compete, even though they might not own the phone or the SIM card or the operating system, but they can still maybe compensate by providing such an awesome experience that you rather download and install the application and use that instead of using maybe what comes with it from the phone manufacturer, or what comes with the operating system, or what comes with a SIM card that you're using. So anyways, interesting days ahead. AI is just started, and AI is going to change a lot of things, and AI is already changing a lot of things. And of course, search engine is part of what is going to be disrupted in a big way, and that is going to be for the better, of course, of the end user. But of course, other people are going to have different results out of it. I've said in another video that SEO, search engine optimization, is dying, or at least is going to change significantly. It's not going to be the way we've always done it. It's going to be something else. What it will be is just we wait and see, or we try to learn and catch up. So Google has been at the top of the search engine business. I think for the first time they are facing real competition. They might come out still leading, but I think they will have to lose a significant part of the market, or maybe they might not come out leading.